Hi everyone, this is Dr. Mike, and this is not a Saving Savvy episode. Today I'm going to talk about a very minimalist setup that I used when I actually just yesterday did a daddy-daughter dance. Now this was about 80 individual portraits. By individual I mean separate people, but usually a dad and a daughter, sometimes a dad and two daughters, that I had to take in roughly about 90 minutes. So this is really production level photography. I'm going in, there's a the group had a backdrop set for me and some chairs and things, but I had to bring in all the photography equipment. And since this has to be done quickly and simply, I do it in as simple way as possible. So let me show you how simple this was. This is the bag that I use. This is an old London Fog bag that a friend of mine was throwing out and said, "Do you want it, Mike?" And I said, "Sure, I'll take it." And this is usually not a bag that I would store a camera in, but it was great because it was small and convenient. And so inside, I didn't have very much. I had my trusty 5D Mark IV. I could have used my 5D Mark III or a Nikon camera, really any camera for this. But I like these bigger DSLRs because I have the physical controls, and so many times I have to make rapid adjustments when I am shooting, and there's just a little bit of extra stress when you're doing professional work. It's so much easier to find the stuff on here and you're not looking at menus or other weirdness. So for instance, although the shots were almost exclusively flash, I had one guy come in and he said, "Can you not use the flash because my daughter has a seizure disorder?" Of course, no problem. So I was able to disable the flash, and I was also able to, I'm going to turn off my speaker here. Oh, there we go. So you don't hear my little bleeps. So I was able to turn off the flash and crank up the ISO because those controls are right here. Very easy to do and get the shot. The other thing I want to show you is, again, simple. I could have used any other camera, of course, but I just like this setup. It's big and chunky. This camera has two slots. It has a compact flash slot and an SD card slot. You will notice, I don't know if you can see that or not, there's nothing in the compact flash slot. I don't have a compact flash little disc. I probably should get one, but I have no problem shooting just with one card. Now, you will hear people talk about the fact that if you're going to shoot professionally, you have to have two cards, and only you have to have a professional camera that has two cards, and that is just not the case. Now, is there an additional risk in doing what I did? Of course. I think the risk is incredibly tiny. I've been shooting digitally since the mid-1990s. Multiple cameras, untold thousands of images. I have never had a card fail, but I buy brand name cards and I treat them with respect. I eject them on my computer, things that are just common sense. In all of my years of photography, I've only have known of one person who's had a card failure. That was a micro SD card from a GoPro. He took it out, it was running fine, plugged it in his computer, used some sort of software to unload the video images, and basically it corrupted the card. What did he do? He called me up. I found a utility on the internet, and it's still bleeping here. I'm going to turn that off. There we go. I found a utility on the internet, and we rescued his files. So it's all doom and gloom. Remember that the vast majority of cameras sold today do not have dual SD cards, and people aren't screaming that they're corrupting all their files. It's just the fact. When dual slots came out, they were promoted not so much for safety, they were promoted that you could do like two different things. You could do like JPEGs in one card and RAW files in the other, or whatever, things like that. That was their big feature. But now some influencers have said, "Oh, your cards you have to double backup, triple backup everything," and so now everyone else kind of steps in line. Do you want to back it up? Of course, go do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. Do what makes you comfortable. But if you have a single slot camera, I think you're taking just very, very little risk. Is there a risk? Of course, but very, very little risk if you just have a single card going. It's just kind of what I do. So what else did I bring in my bag? A flash. Now this is a Flashpoint flash, and I love this flash. This is a Godex rebrand, but the reason I love this flash is this. A lithium-ion battery pack. This battery pack seems to go forever. I mean, if I looked at it right now, after shooting everything I did yesterday, it says that the battery is full. So that's unbelievable. So I don't bring extra batteries or anything like that because I've come to believe that unless I'm doing some massive, massive job, this is going to give me more than enough battery power. The lithium pack really recharges the capacitors in the flash really quickly. It's very consistent. Absolutely love this flash. It was not very expensive. What else do I have in my bag? The only other two things I have in my bag are in this front pouch. First one is a backup battery for the Canon. Now, I will tell you that if my batteries were new, I would not need a backup battery. I just make sure I charged it. The reason I'm doing this is a lot of my batteries are kind of old, and I really need to sort through them. I haven't done it yet, but I just want a backup just in case I turn the camera on, and even though I've charged the battery, it's dead or something. So I do that. The other thing I brought was kind of a surprise. Just in case of emergency, I brought this little Micro Four Thirds camera. This is one I'm going to take on an upcoming trip, so I'm playing around with it a little bit more. This is just a Lumix GF7, I believe. GF7 with the little kit lens on it. So if push came to shove, if I absolutely had to, something catastrophic happened to my camera, I could complete the job with this camera. Would I get as good as results? Probably. Actually, they would be just fine. Unfortunately, I would have to use the little pop-up flash, but we would make it work. And that's it. So here I did 80 portraits, about 80 portraits in about 90 minutes, and very simple gear. I just edited the pictures just a little while ago, sent a link to the server to the person that contracted me to do the pictures. She says she's absolutely thrilled with them and they look great, so you don't need a lot. Anyway, so that is my little video for today. Just a fun video, just encouraging you to think outside the box, to question things that you've heard. And really, when it comes to photography, so much of it is doing it and learning some skills, both technical and creative. A lot less of it is camera, to be honest with you, although cameras are pretty cool and a lot of fun. Take care, everyone. And if you get some time, please give my podcast a listen. You can find it on iTunes and other podcast sharing sites. It's called Psychiatric Secrets Revealed. And it's really now a reading of my blog. So see my blog, too. That's drmikekuna.com, drmikekuna.com. My most recent post was on my first year of retirement and what I've learned. So if you want to know about that, you can. And I would really like it if you subscribe. I'm trying to get past 6,000 subscribers. That would be awesome. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it or want to offer a comment that is negative, that's okay. But if it's an insulting or goofy comment, I'll delete it. So just be respectful, and we can all be one big happy family. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.